What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. You saw the title. We're talking blues. Some of the best blues released in 2024. I got a couple of somethings we're going to talk about this year. Some that are brand new, some that came out at the very beginning of the year. We've got 6 very particular ones across a variety of price points. We've got designer, we've got niche, and just personal favorites of mine that I think were just great releases for this year for a blue fragrance guy, such as myself. So let's discuss them. Stay tuned. Starting with a limited edition flanker, unfortunately limited edition, that came out in the very beginning of the year. We're talking about Jean-Paul Gaultier's Lamal Lover. Yeah, I know. The homophobes get all upset at the name because it means the man lover. I get it. Get over it. The fragrance is incredible. We're actually going to give a little spritz on the hand because it's been probably a month or so since I've smelled it. Now this one has this kind of salty aquatic ambergris with pepper and vanilla. It makes for a warm, kind of salty, aquatic, sweet vanilla fragrance. Of course, it's a designer. It's going to have some sweetness, right? Oh, but it smells so good. Doesn't lean feminine in any way. Great everyday wear for those that like the sweeter side of blue fragrances. 100% classify this one as a blue, especially the way this ambergris comes across, this synthetic ambergris. This is really good stuff. Above average performance. This is 8 to 10 hours in longevity. Easily on my skin. And again, high level versatility as long as you don't mind a little bit of some sweetness here. It doesn't offer too much powder, but there is a hint of powder. It's a drier vanilla than it is a super creamy and thick type of vanilla. There's still some freshness here as well. Just an awesome fragrance. If you get an opportunity to try it, I would strongly encourage it. Jean-Paul Gaultier's Lamal Lover. One I talked about, I believe, yesterday. Yes, yesterday in my live stream as a great practical everyday scent, and I do believe it to be such. We're talking about Ralph Lauren's Polo 67. This is one of the better fragrances they've come out with in a while that doesn't reinvent the wheel. It's not some amazing, mind-blowing original, new creation of olfactive achievement, but it's fruity. It's a little sweet. It's woodsy. There's a hint of this smoked vetiver type of smell without making it a dirty, earthy fragrance. It's a little green. Of course, it has a nice dose of aromatics in here, offer a bit of brightness. It's highly versatile. Like I said, extremely practical daily wear scent for most guys. This is one of those fragrances that if you're just looking for the one cologne, this can be the one cologne. You know what I mean? It's good for pretty much everything. Whatever you want to throw at me, I'll probably tell you, yeah, Polo 67 will definitely work in that situation. So, kind of hard to beat. Average to slightly above average longevity, 6-7 hour range in longevity is what I've experienced. Decent projection and so on. Kind of average, maybe a little bit better. Run-of-the-mill type of performance, but not so run-of-the-mill generic blue. It definitely has a defining characteristic that I think is just super enjoyable. And that's Ralph Lauren's Polo 67. This is a brand new release from Mancara. I actually bought it from a place in Belgium overseas because I didn't want to wait for it to come to the States and get it discounted. It's the first Mancara I've ever paid full retail for. We're talking about Mancara's Cinque, the Italian-inspired fragrance that is a salty aquatic blue. It's got a lot of green elements to it, a bit of moss in the dry down, but a whole bunch of this pine accord, piney green, pine needles with salt water, a hint of amber, a touch of powdered sweetness. This is a beautiful everyday blue aquatic with some real depth to it. Great staying power. It's got a lot of pop off of the skin. It's a very bright, pretty loud fragrance, honestly. This is a beautiful offering. I can't wait till more people get their nose on it just to see what they think. Look, is everybody going to feel the way I feel? Maybe not so much. That's just what it is when you're interpreting art. Not everybody's going to feel the same about every fragrance, but I think this is going to be a hit for them overall. A lot of people are going to enjoy this one. So when you get an opportunity, because I won't have a link for this one down below, unless you want to pay $189 shipped from overseas. I can put that link if you really want to pay what I paid. I wouldn't encourage it. Yeah, it's fantastic. So much so that I wanted to feature it and talk about it. Wait till it comes to the States and gets around that $100 mark that we're used to paying from newer release Mancaras at discounters. Then make your move if you want to grab it. That's my advice. That's why I'm not even going to bother putting the link It's easy to find. You Google search La Maison du Parfums, where I bought it from in Belgium. Again, unless you're looking, because with shipping it was $189. I doubt a whole lot of you are looking to do that. But I'll tell you what, when those of you do get it from discounters, this is a damn good blue release from them this year. And it's Mancera's Cinque Terre. Speaking of powdered blue fragrances, a little bit of sweetness. This is very clean musk, soft wood, fruitiness at the top. This is Tumi's Dusk. The bottle is stunning, first and foremost. That same twister style that we got from 19 Degree, but with this blue gradient metallic tone to it. The bottle is absolutely stunning, but the fragrance smells incredible, and it's an above average performer, 8 hours solid in longevity. It doesn't smell super original, but it also doesn't remind me specifically of any other fragrances at the same time. So kudos to them, because for a designer, it's on the pricey side. I mean, most designers are in that high 100 price point these days when they release. This one's a 175, I believe. It will get cheaper, but I would encourage getting a sample from the link down below and just try it for yourself. It's only a few bucks. See if you're interested in it, and maybe hold off for a little while, unless you just have to have it and you just fall in love with it right away, because that kind of stuff does happen. I understand. The previous fragrance, I didn't want to wait, so I get where you're coming from. Some fragrances are like that if you end up really enjoying this one, and I gotta say, it's worth trying. Hence why it's one of the 6, because I could have did 10 here. There's 10 really good blues that came out this year for sure, at minimum. But these were the 6 that I think were the shining stars of the bunch. And Tumi Dusk, I think, is their second best fragrance behind 19 Degree, personally, even over Continuum. So there's that. Of course, my opinion. But great blue release this year, Tumi Dusk. Now, this is one I continue to see a split among people, because I think it's better than the original. And every time I mention it, people talk about how the original is far superior. It's wildly sharp and chemically synthetic compared to this one. This is a lot smoother, and that's why I like it, but every version of Acqua di Gio Profondo is great. But this is Giorgio Armani's Acqua di Gio Profondo Parfum, the newest release, the ambery aquatic. This has a nice, rich, warm amber smell to it. You still get the saltwater aquatic. You still get some of the citrus. You lose the mineral notes. You lose the green notes. But the core to this DNA, the most important things I think are still here with this fragrance. It's long lasting as well, and it's surprisingly loud early on off the skin. Most of the time, these designer parfums, pretty much a more subdued, sit close to the skin type of thing after about 30 minutes. Whereas here, hour and a half, still pumping pretty well off the skin, and it lingers and trails really well because it's a thicker aroma, higher oil concentration, so it lingers in its sillage pretty well. The scent bubble around this one is pretty damn good with some great staying power. Again, this, I think, is number 2 overall in the line, behind Profumo, the GOAT. As most can agree, Acqua di Gio Profumo is the GOAT. I think this is the number 2 flanker. Number 2 version of Acqua di Gio, period. Granted, that's my personal taste, and I would strongly encourage, if you're looking for a great, warmer aquatic twist on the Acqua di Gio DNA, I strongly encourage you get your nose on Profondo Parfum. And last but most certainly not least, my favorite fragrance in my collection, my most worn fragrance by far this year. Zaharoff Signature Seraphim Blue. Big fan. How much of a fan? That much of a fan. I've had it for a few months. Going on 4 months at this point. It normally takes me many years to put this level of a dent in a bottle. So at the top in this one, you get a crispness from apple. There's a wintergreen freshness because you got green notes with eucalyptus that get this minty feel. There's a breezy saltwater aquatic type of smell that you get. You got red seaweed here that gives part of that saltiness. You have marine notes that give you that aquatic, watery feel to this one. Hint of coconut. I don't get too much coconut, but it does give it a little bit of a tropical feel, adds a bit of creaminess to it. You get powder from Florentine Iris, and then when it dries down, you have a beautiful musk, a light sweetness. This is just a beautiful fragrance. God, I love wearing this one. It's just so pleasant and easy, just a lovable fragrance. Very coastal, very it's inspired around the Greek islands. This is a beautiful fragrance. Light blue with longevity is the way I've always liked to describe it, because it's on the fresher side of things. It's not dominated with sweetness, though there is some sweetness here. A lot of nuance to this one. Again, great longevity, not overwhelmingly strong, but definitely has some brightness. In the early stages, the first hour to 2 hours, it's definitely a very bright fragrance. So I would highly encourage you getting the 3 ml sample from the link down below and trying it for yourself, seeing if it's something that you'd like to add to your collection. You never know unless you try it, right? My favorite fragrance, end all be all, that was released this year is Zaharoff Signature Seraphim Blue. Well, that was the 6 that I wanted to cover with you guys. I appreciate you checking out the video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe before you leave. Like I said, everything except the new Mancara, I'll have a link down below. Lamal Lover, I mean, it's not going to be in stock. Kind of pointless to put a link there as well. It was a limited edition flanker that was released at the very beginning of the year. It's not in production from what I understand. But for those of you that have an opportunity to grab it, maybe it's worth checking out. But thank you guys once again for watching the video. I'll catch you on the next one. Y'all have a good one.